Aloha, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing amazing and having a great Wednesday. Here, I'm still here, like I said last week. I was still going to be here at MasterPrac. There's our slides. I'm going to be teaching this afternoon. Going to be teaching an amazing group. We got about 60 people here and going to be teaching them at 1:15. So I got about 15 minutes. Got Ethan and Edan back there. That's my boy Ethan. Christina's over here filming some stuff too. And the students are on their lunch break. They're just hanging out right now on their lunch break and just wanted to fulfill on doing these Facebook Lives. And this one is going to be kind of near and dear to my heart, and it has to do with completion energy. It has to do with things coming to completion, things coming to end. Next week, I'm going to be teaching trainers training. And I talk about group cycles and how a group comes together, they form, and then they go through, a storming phase where they're pushing back. Aloha, Sandy. How you doing? And then they get into a norming and performing. And at some point, whatever brought the group together, the group then comes to completion. The group then ends. And I've said for years, you don't want to fear completion energy. Things end in life. And this past week, I lost two amazing students. Two students that have been a part of our halau, a part of our journey for a number of years. One of them is named Brian, and Brian survived cancer and credited a lot of the teachings to living many more years than the doctors ever said. And we lost him, I think it was about a week ago. And yesterday I lost one of my very first teachers. When I became a kumu in 2006, I became a kumu back in 2006. I had 5 people that were so very helpful that made the path so much easier. Teachers, Karen, who's now a kumu, of course, Mama Mitzi, and I also had Keith. Of course, Keith and Mama Mitzi, they're a couple, and they helped out so much. Elizabeth Meeks. Elizabeth was one of the original teachers, and I had Kathy Miyagawa, and local girl. I remember her so much because as a local from Hawaii, and Karen and Kathy were my 2 local girls. And when I became a ho'opa'a, when I became a drummer, I was might have been 2004 when I became a drummer. To become a drummer in the Hawaiian culture, you have to learn how to make a drum. You have to learn how to do certain things. And so I made 2 drums, and I gave one to Karen, who's now a kumu in our lineage, and I gave one to Kathy. And I'm bringing her up because the tears that I had this morning and felt last night when, she passed, they're tears of joy that she had an incredible life, was an amazing woman, a teacher, a massage therapist, did such incredible energy work with people. She was actually written up in Massage Magazine. I guess there's like a massage monthly magazine, and she was written up and interviewed because how well she combined energy work and massage. And a lot of people fear completion energy. They fear the energy of completion. And we knew that she was in a pass. I got word a couple days earlier, and ho'oponopono, the forgiveness process that we teach in our practitioner trainings, that on our app there's a recording of. You do ho'oponopono for 3 reasons. Number 1, you do it because someone's wronged you. That's what most people hear about and learn about. Number 2, you do it because you want to reboot. When Ethan went through his teenage years, I needed to do a few reboots with him, for sure. Everybody needs that. You also do it when someone passes away, and you don't want to be connected to the person anymore because they're an empty vessel now. You're connected to that body. What you want to be connected to is their memory, their spirit. And I remember when we lost a student back about 20 years ago, and Uncle George was there, and Uncle George, my mentor, my teacher, he said, you need to do ho'oponopono to allow this person to live on in your memories, that they will live on within you. And I truly love these teachings and the techniques. Ho'oponopono was so very helpful this morning for me. And as I reflected and looked back on her life, a lot of positive memories came in. A lot of positive thinking about, what she did and how she impacted the world. It's important, in every culture to allow yourself a grieving process as well. Everyone cites the stages of grieving. And as a doctor of psychology, I just want to let you know, one of my professors, they were like, the stages of grieving don't apply to everyone, and it doesn't apply to everything. Actually, the research that was done on the stages of grieving had to do with people and individuals who had been given the news that the illness that they had was terminal and that they weren't going to live. And the stages of grieving are true if you're given that same type of news, that same type of information. Well, unfortunately, after that, some people in psychology applied it to all grieving. When in fact, in more recent studies, especially if you look across cultures, there are different ways of grieving when you lose someone else. So stepping out of the model of, bargaining and anger and all that other stuff, you want to learn how you go through completion. How do you let go? How do you release whatever it is that you're holding on to? Because that completion energy sparks a creation energy. And one of the things to do, especially when it's a loss, is allow yourself the space to grieve. Allow yourself whatever it is that you need to go through emotionally. And part of the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys is that's a part of my grieving process, to be able to share it. And to say to you all, this is a woman who not just helped me, but also inspired me in many ways and shaped some of the teachings. Any of you who have done level 2 of Huna and you learn how to do an energy session, hands on, your hand goes on the body, move that energy, that was her class. So she'll live on. She'll live on through the teachings and through the people that continue to teach the sections that she helped to create. You ask yourself in completion energy, what is it that you need to let go of? So in this case, ho'oponopono, to release the connection. And then how is it that you want to express yourself in a way to bring it to completion? My father, an amazing individual. I lost him last year. And I remember when my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer and given a few months to live, my dad flew me to California to be with him. And my dad said, say whatever it is that you need to say. Bring whatever you need to bring to completion, because that way you allow him to go in a way that's pono. And it was so cute because I sat next to him and I thanked him for everything, asked for forgiveness that when I was in elementary school I stole a quarter out of his wallet, and he's like, yeah, I knew you did. And we got to have that discussion, and that allowed me then go through the grieving process and release him and allow him to live on in the memories. So I hope this helps any of you who are going through a loss. To be able to bring something to completion is so, so very important. Okay? Have an amazing day. Love you all. Aloha.